Welcome to the Dink and Dish podcast. My name is Barbara Radowski, and I'm here with my friend, fitness legend and icon, Tamilee Webb. You know,
Hello again.
I always point to you, like, and then in the video, it's always the other direction. So I'm going to just go like this, like,
Yeah,
she's
just
here.
just
Tamilee Webb is here. Yes. And hey,
in the
listen, if
house.
you leave here with one tidbit of information and one thing only, it's that dinking is not
It's
a
not
warm
a
up.
warm-up.
I saw
Yes.
someone say that on Instagram this week. Okay, so full disclosure, my husband is a big fan of the show. And, and
Yay.
he sends me, he's always sending me like stuff to watch on Instagram or on Facebook. And one thing was a really cute girl that was doing warm-ups for pickleball. And she's like, because if you think dinking for 10 minutes is a warm-up, I'm like, oh, she's not gonna say it. She's not gonna say it. And she didn't say it. So I went on her page and said, I love your stuff, dinking's not a
Oh,
warm-up.
good.
So
Good.
it's spreading
Well,
faster
all
than we
my
knew.
girls say it. All of us say it now because they see me come out and they're like, I know.
I
Dinky's not a
know, I
warm-up.
know. What are you just warming up just the shoulder? How was pickleball this week for you?
Oh, it was fun because our friend Pete, I think we mentioned
Yeah,
him
yeah,
last
yeah,
week,
yeah.
Pete McCall, we actually got to play. And I don't know, tell me how you feel about this. So Pete is a beginner
Hmm.
but he's very athletic. So
Uh-huh.
if you're athletic and
You're gonna
you
get
can
it.
you're going to get it. However, there are some certain skills and
Hmm.
and if you were a tennis player, it's an easy transition, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But he wasn't a tennis player.
He's just smart.
He's a smart workout guy,
Okay.
and so he is very athletic. So I had called upon one of my friends. Dear friend's husband, who's also a pickleball player, and he plays pretty competitive,
Hmm.
and I just thought he's such a great guy, and he'd really make him feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, he goes, well, you know what, we'll meet you. And he goes, I'll grab my partner, who's I guess his hitting partner, who is Vivian. And I'm thinking, oh God, they're so sweet to do this. We met early. It was first one's on the court. We only had the court for an hour, and so granted, we're trying to play and at his speed, at his
Uh-huh.
level, and which was fine because it makes you have a little bit more control,
Oh
right?
yeah. Hmm.
And David was so good and kind in giving, as Vivian was, in giving directions in
Hmm.
helping with Pete, because even though I'm a seasoned player, I don't think I'm as seasoned as they are.
Right.
But it was very helpful. And but after that, it was like, I was like, gosh, I really would love to play with them again, just
Yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
because it ups my game, right?
Yep, yep.
And so I had reached out to him about maybe another game or something, and oh, they're busy now. So I have a feeling that you only want to take out so much of your time to
Yeah.
play that way. And I
Hmm.
get it because I play with some of my neighbors who are beginners, and
Yeah.
I because I'm a teacher, that's what we do.
Right.
We love helping and teaching others. So I don't mind doing that, but
Hmm.
certainly that's not where I want to spend all my time, is playing at that level. So
Yeah.
that was part of my pickleball this past week.
Well, that feels like my pickleball this week. So I'm in Lancaster. Full disclosure, my husband had a hip surgery. He's fine. He had his, still think about that. They dislocate your hip, they chop off the top of
Oh
the
yeah,
femur,
it's
they hammer
bad.
something in, they drill, they hammer, they push it back, and they just wheel you out the door and tell your wife to take care of you for 2 weeks. So they
You ever
trust
saw
me.
the video on how they
No,
do that?
uh-uh.
You would not want to do it. Same
I'm
with
not
knee
going to watch it.
replacement. Yeah,
I'm
don't
not going to
watch
watch
it.
it. Even the nurse, when she was wheeling Jeff out, said, if you want to watch it, I'm like, I'm not watching the video. So I'm here playing. I call myself Nurse Ratchet. And that's, it ages me. Most like millennials and Gen X or Gen Z wouldn't know what even that is. But so I'm here taking care of my husband. Went to my dad's house before the surgery and played. So at my dad's house, he has two beautiful courts. And on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, the ladies play. And on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, it's the more advanced players. So I
Mhm.
go on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. It's mostly men. And there's a few of us gals that play. But I went on Wednesday before the surgery, and it's mostly beginner players. And I do like it because I hope I don't get on their nerves, because I do try to help them.
Uh-huh.
I do try to help them, and I do give them some good shots. Like I give them some good shots to try to return. And my dad is back to playing pickleball now. And I went to a clinic about 2 weeks ago, like a serve and return clinic, and I learned how to
Mhm.
put some top spin on the ball when I serve it or when I'm returning it. When it has a good even bounce, I can kind of like flip it and smash it. And I was doing that to my dad, and every time I did it, I'd say, I paid $30 for that shot. And finally my dad said, I will pay you 50 not to use it again.
That was
Because
good.
I'm starting to master it. So playing with
Yeah.
beginners, the beginner, low intermediate, it is challenging, but I do think it helps your game because you can kind of practice shots that I wouldn't practice like in league, you know. And
Yeah.
and I got to remember too, when I was a beginner, I had so many great nice people that were so giving and generous
Impatient.
and patient. I remember this one
Yeah.
guy, he was so encouraging. He's like, no, 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 that's okay. I'm like, it is not okay. That was so bad. He's like, no, 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 that's okay. And it turns out he's a youth pastor. I'm like, okay. He says he knows what he was
That's
so
good.
sweet. Oh my gosh. He was so never, he was like, oh no, it's okay. You're doing great. I'm like, that was terrible. Get out of here. So I try to be that person, but I don't want to coach too much because I know that gets on people's nerves, but I do want to help them. And I read this great
Well,
article. Go ahead.
just to tag on that. So that is, I think we should actually try and get some feedback from other people about how they feel about that. And the
Yeah.
reason I say that is we some of our group was invited to play at another um, friend's place who had a
Mm-hmm.
few courts, and there's some people who feel like they know more,
Mm-hmm.
and yet I'm looking at them going, thinking we're pretty even here. And
Okay.
yet they're either giving you suggestions,
Mm-hmm.
or in one of my cases it was, that was my ball. I'm like, whoa, okay. um
Oh, we could do a whole podcast on that. I mean, I
yeah,
if it's your
what's the etiquette
if
here?
it's your forehand, in my opinion, you
It's
have
your ball,
70% of the court. If it's your forehand, you're a
right?
right-handed person, you're on the left side of the court. If it's your forehand, because you have a better shot, the person on the right side of the court, it's going to be their backhand
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10. So the forehand has a better shot, unless it's
Yeah.
like my dad, who's a ping pong player. He only has a backhand. He only has like that little pop thing, you know. So,
Uh-huh.
but that does come up quite often when we play. Like, whose
Yeah.
ball is it?
Yeah. So, well, my tennis partner, my old tennis partner, and she's a lefty. So
Mm-hmm.
the middle,
Mm.
it's her
Yes.
forehand, and it's my backhand, and I love my backhand. It's almost, I think, better than my forehand. So it depends on, are you playing with a lefty and where you're
Right. Oh
playing,
yeah.
but I just, it really made me feel like, okay, it was her court, so
Yeah.
maybe I should let her have it. I don't know,
Yeah.
but that is a whole nother topic. I think that we could have a whole show on, but
Yeah,
that's
and
not what this show
I
is.
read an article this week, and it was about playing with beginners. Let's say you're playing, there's four people playing. One is a more of a beginner. So when you play with that person in a league, you tend to hit to that person all the time because you want the points. Like you hit to the weaker player. And
Right,
this
in
guy
a
said,
league.
in a league, he said, and
Right.
then he said, if you're recreationally playing, don't always do that unless you want to be the queen of the rec court. And I thought that is so good. You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
hit it to the harder player and see how do they respond? What do they do? What weaknesses are they finding out about your game?
Yeah.
You know, but I love that. It's like, yeah, you can hit to the weak player all day if you want to be the queen of the rec league. And I thought that's a really great
Yeah.
point. You know,
Yeah.
be fair about it. So, well, listen, today we're going to talk about, we talked about feet, ankles, knees, and hips.
Mm-hmm.
And what we wanted to do today was go back to the ankle because two things have happened the last couple of weeks. One was one of my girlfriends rolled her ankle and took a really hard fall. And then another one of my friends pulled their hamstring. And when those things happen, I always think, okay, they're veteran players. How did it happen? And it comes back to, we talked about flexibility, but flexibility, mobility, and strength is the trifecta of a really healthy movement pattern. So today we're going to talk about
Mhm.
mobility of the ankle and how it all plays a role in your knees to your hips, but
'Cause that's
mostly,
the trifecta,
yeah. So
is
go
your
ahead.
ankle,
Yes.
your knees, and your hips.
Yep.
They all one doesn't work without the other,
Right.
and it all starts with the feet and the ankle.
Mm-hmm.
So, you gotta look at your feet and go, first of all, are you a pronator where you
Mm-hmm.
you internally roll in? And you can look at your shoes. So if you take a
Mm-hmm.
look at the back of your shoes and where they're worn out the most. So if they're
Mm-hmm.
worn on the inside, you're pronating more than supinating. Supinating is rolling outward.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so that is going to affect going up to the knee joint, which then is going to
Mm-hmm.
affect the hip, and it's vice versa. So if your hips are pronated or tilted forward or back, is going to have an inversion or an eversion to the knee down to the ankle. it,
Mm-hmm.
it it all goes together. But it would be great if we could look at how your friend, if there was videotape of that,
I know.
how she fell. So there's been plenty of times I've seen people come out with new shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and their shoes, the surface will stick.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do
Yeah.
a whole nother show on that. But that in itself, you got to look at, did that create it? Or
Mm-hmm.
was it a movement? Was it going forward? And her foot, did it rotate because of weakness in the strength? It did it not have the mobility? what
Mm-hmm.
what was that? And then it's going to affect everything else. And then you said she fell, right? And then she
Right.
hit her
Hit
hip.
her wrists, hit her head, hit, like, yeah, just totally. She's been out for a while. Like, she just took a tumble. So I was thinking, flexibility is one thing, but if you're more flexible than your ankle is mobile, that's when bad sprains happen. It's like if you're flexible, but your joint doesn't want to roll that far, then that's how things will pull.
Right.
So, what are some of the things we can do then for great ankle mobility, strength and mobility?
Strength and mobility, and that those are the two things that you need strength and mobility to help minimize any of these injuries. So
Mm-hmm.
little silly little things, I mean, you would think they're silly, but they're not. For instance, just circling your ankles,
Mm-hmm.
circling the ankles, and they internal, external, and then pointing and flexing, supinate,
Mm-hmm.
pronate, this type of stuff. And you can do that with a band. I'm big
Mm-hmm.
on bands. You can place
Mm-hmm.
that on your feet and push and push, and this is going to strengthen the muscles in the feet and the ankles. It's also going to give you mobility. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is a balance. Like, we don't think about this. How is a balance going to help my ankle or my feet? Well, think about it. You're standing on one leg. So if you're balancing on one foot, now, if you can do that really easily, then start trying to lift up on your toe. So lifting your
Mm.
heel up. So now you've got balance and you've got strength because you're lifting with one
Mm-hmm.
foot of your body. Most of the time you're on both. Okay. Some of the other things that you can do is traveling lunges. I do this a lot. I don't know about you, but it's one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorites to do before I get on the courts. Is
Yes.
I will do traveling lunges. So it's taking a lunge forward, stepping together, taking a lunge, because I'm flexing at my ankles, my
Mm-hmm.
knees, and my hips. So that is a really good one for strengthening some mobility. And then, of course, I always like putting the band. I
Mm-hmm.
take my booty band and I place it above my knees, and I'm always doing my side step together step.
Mm-hmm.
I'll walk backwards with it, keeping it open.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the feet themselves, I'm not big on plyometrics, only because jumping doesn't feel great to my knees because of
Mm-hmm.
the torn meniscus
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. But they don't have to be big jumps. So plyometrics is just, little
Mm-hmm.
hops or jumps. And you can
Yeah.
do that with both feet. You can do it with one. But simple little things like that is going to strengthen the muscles in the feet and the ankles.
Today I went to so because I'm in town now. I went to my sister's house and worked out, and she's was an ex gymnast, so she's got all the tools. I'm talking about all the tools. And
Mm-hmm.
she has a balance board, and I have one too. Hers is a little bit different. Hers is harder than mine. And it's funny because I stepped on it and I couldn't, oh, I was so mad. Like I stepped on it. It's like, I couldn't bounce. I couldn't bounce. And I thought, well, this is stupid. So then I got back on it and it got a little bit better and I got off it. And then I grabbed a weight and then I really couldn't do it again. Then I got off and I got back on. After I was on and off it about 5 times,
Mm-hmm.
then my brain was actually communicating to my ankle, like, okay, she's going to do this again. So let's help her out. And it
Neuromuscular.
opened up, yeah, it opened up a pathway. And I realized,
Mm-hmm.
gosh, people who are beginners to like balance work, it's so frustrating because it's like a runner, right? The first mile sucks, but after
Yeah.
the first mile, like 7 miles
It's
is easy.
easy. Yeah.
So it's same thing with that balance. When I got on that board, I was like, oh, this is stupid. Oh, this is dumb. And I was like touching the front, I was rolling.
Yeah.
I could not find center. And once I
Yeah.
found center one time, I was able to then hold it longer because
Yeah.
my brain was open to it.
Well, and your proprioceptors, we have
Mm-hmm.
proprioceptors that fire all through our bodies. And sometimes they will take a little bit longer than others.
Mm-hmm.
People that once you train a muscle, because a muscle has memory, it catches on a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, this morning I was training a male client and we're working on some of the balance. Now, normally he gets very frustrated, kind of the same
That was
thing.
me.
He'll step
Oh.
on the Mobo board, which I
Mm-hmm.
talked about the last time, the Mobo. And I said, okay, we're going to do things a little bit different with it today instead of him stepping on and trying to do the balance right away, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what I did with him, I said, keep your shoe on instead of taking usually your barefoot with it. And then I had the pegs at opposite ends. And I said, all I want you to do is step on it and move those pegs forward and backwards, forward and backwards. So what happened is he's doing the range of motion,
Mm-hmm.
mobility. He's doing
Oh,
strength because he's
smart.
pushing it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he's tilting it forward and back, forward and back. And I said, okay, now stop and now balance on it. He got it right away. Normally we just step on it and he tries to balance and he gets
Ugh,
frustrated because I'll
that
go,
was me.
we're going to count to 4. 1, 2, 3. Can he hold it up for 4? And usually he can't. He went on it. He's like, oh my God. I said, because we already got the proprioceptors
Right.
working. Now they know what it is that you want them to do.
And that has a lot to do with pickleball when you start to warm up too. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, like, the left, right thing. This
Mm-hmm.
morning too, I was doing lateral lunges and I was, my feet were square and I would lunge deep to the right and come up. And I noticed in the mirror, my left ankle had to have a lot of mobility to be able to allow the lunge to the right. So my foot was flat. My
Mm-hmm.
my my tibia was going sideways, and I had to have a lot of ankle mobility in order to it's like a single leg squat and able to execute that. And then I started thinking, and also my inner thigh might be more mobile than my ankle. And if that's true, that's how you would probably pull a muscle, hurt your ankle because something's not right like when I saw my ankle and how my foot was flat, but my shin was so much directed towards my knee and going low. I thought you have to have good ankle mobility to do a lot of these exercises. And a lot of what we
Yeah.
do in pickleball, we don't think about that, but lunging towards a ball in pickleball, lunging towards a ball, you're going to separate your legs. You're going to do a deep lunge. Is your
Yeah.
ankle ready for that? Is your right ankle that's landing that lunge ready for that? Are you mobile and strong enough? So
Yeah.
all of that strengthening stuff is really important. And that flexibility piece with the tubing that you talked about, I mean, the mobility and
Mm-hmm.
the strengthening part of that is so critical if you don't want to get hurt. Because that's how, like,
Well, that's
that's
why
how they
we're
get
doing it,
hurt.
right?
Yeah.
We're doing this to prevent. I mean, that was
Yeah.
our whole purpose of this
Right.
and Dink and Dish is that we saw people doing things that were like, wait a minute, we come from this industry of
Yeah.
proper warm up, do the workout, follow it with a cool down
Mm-hmm.
because we want to prevent injuries. I always said the exercises, they have to be safe, they have to
Mm-hmm.
be effective, and it should be fun. That was
Right.
always my 3
Yep.
things in my workouts. And I follow that because safety is key. I don't if you get injured, then you're not coming back. So
Right.
by just doing, if you're getting ready, you're waiting for your court, by lunging forward, diagonal, to the
Mm-hmm.
side, to the back. Now because you're going to do that playing
All the
pickleball.
things. All the
Yes.
things.
So again, Same side. You just want to mimic what it is that you're going to be doing on the court. Same with upper body rotations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recommend running back, learning to turn and rotate, running,
Yes.
even like those, what do we call them when you cross? We used
Like
to call them grapevines.
grapevines.
Grapevines, right? So if you can do a grapevine, I mean, those are great little warm ups
Yeah.
because you're
And
going
it's
to
good for
cross
your
front and
brain.
back.
And it's good for I was thinking
Hmm.
about that too, Tamilee. When I worked for Beachbody, there was a workout called Asylum. And Sean T, I call him Sean Lee. He's gonna be part of our family. Barbara Lee, Tammy Lee, Sean Lee. Sean
I love it.
T, you had a ladder. And the ladder was so annoying to me because you're going in and out all these on a ladder, like the rope ladder that's on the
Right.
ground. And I had an aha moment this week. I was like, that is for your brain. It's for your brain.
Yes.
In,
Yes.
out, right, left, in, out. It helps everything you do. It's hard and it's cardiovascular. Yeah, sure. And I hated it. But now I'm like, that's what he was doing with us. He was trying to make our brain fire. Right, left, right, left.
Yes.
He don't touch the ladder. You're like, really, and that's what we need to do too in pickleball, because you're going to go up, you're going to go back. And for a lob, if I play with a chick, I always talk about Rachel. She does those deep lobs. When someone lobs, if you're not back there, run back there. Don't back up. Run towards the
No.
ball. Let it bounce and turn your body, because running
Yeah.
backwards, that's something we do in every day. We don't do that. I mean, you can practice doing that, but
Well, it's
you can take a
dangerous.
couple steps back. Yeah, you can take a couple steps back to hit a ball, but if it's a lob, turn your body, run, and then
Yeah.
square off your body and hit the ball. Because I mean, that's how people, like we talked about the guy that you knew that got hurt doing that.
Yeah. No, he
So
died.
avoiding injury. Yeah,
He
that's
died.
really hurt. That
And
was
he
really
was a
hurt.
doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so tragic. So, trying to avoid those things. So Tammy Lee is going to make some videos, put them up on our Instagram page. And we'll actually put the videos up on our YouTube channel as well, because we can put videos up there, and we'll do that. So I think it's a great idea for people to understand, okay, it's about flexibility for sure, but now we got to back it up and say, okay, I'm flexible, but can my joint handle the flexibility? It all has to tie together. It has to tie together.
Yeah. On one pickleball prehab.
Yes,
Right?
one pickleball prehab. Yep, and the links are in the bio for the podcast. So check out the links and the links to buy. And if you want to listen, we don't get paid for this, but there's the tools we talk about are always on our Amazon page, links in the bio, or from whoever the person is that sells the product. We just want you to have some really good products
Yeah.
to help yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Do you want to do
Do you
our
have
trivia?
yes, because last week the trivia about the water, I think, was very popular amongst my girlfriends.
Oh, good.
One, yes, the water and the beer. I got more messages
so
about
for
that.
every beer, you've got to have double the water.
Double the water.
Yes.
Everyone's like, wow, what's so hard about that? Okay, that's easy. Double it up.
Well, this week's trivia is, what is the correct name of the kitchen?
Oh. Well, as a woman who doesn't spend much time in the kitchen, I didn't like the name anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, think about it. I'm going to give you a hint. What is it that you can't do in the kitchen?
Well, you can't hit the ball without bouncing it in the kitchen. So it has to
Uh-huh.
bounce in the kitchen. So it's a
Right.
bounce zone.
Okay. Oh, close. You got
I
the
like my
zone
bounce
right.
zone. I'm going with the bounce zone.
But what is it that they took away? Because obviously it would just, you can't step in there and
No
what?
foot zone.
Volley.
Smash. No. Okay, no volley.
No volley zone.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
It's a non-volley zone. So you can't step in there and volley.
Right.
It's got to drop first. Yes.
Okay, I love it. I did not know that.
That is the kitchen. The correct name for the kitchen was the non-volley zone.
I love that. And by the way, she never tells me what these trivia questions are going to be, so that was really good. I did watch a video a few weeks back, and now we talk about it all the time. Is this player was upset that the girl was playing pickleball, and they're professionals, and she's like, when she hit the ball. She was like a tennis player, obviously, now playing pickleball, and she like hit the ball, and she'd make all these noises, and the girl she was playing against got mad and went to the ref complaining and filed I don't know, hindrance. hindrance.
So
It
are
was a
they not
hindrance.
allowed to do that, or
I
can
guess
they make noise?
I don't think you can make noise like that.
Okay.
We need to have someone tell us for sure. But she called it a hindrance, and I think she got her way. Like the girl can't make those noises because it was this like
Ah.
golf all of a sudden. Like shh.
Okay, because we had this discussion. In fact, it's with my girls tonight. I play tonight, um, and one of them, she's our no filter girl.
I love
She
her.
talks about grunting because
Uh huh.
she grunts when she hits, and
Okay.
she can slam it. And she said, I grunting's good. I do so much better when
Yeah.
I grunt. So that's a good question. We got to, if anybody knows, let us know. Of course,
Yeah.
we're going to
Because
research it.
in
But
boxing, it's called combat breathing. Like
well,
like
and
it's
you hear
combat
it
breathing.
in the gym too.
Yeah.
And the reason that you're doing that is because your body is working with the movement.
Yeah.
It's exhaling
It's
because
actually really good.
it is to exert yourself. So you're like, So think about it this way. If you're trying to move something in your house, let's say you're trying to move the sofa and you don't have anybody helping you, you're gonna
Yeah.
you're pushing and you're exhaling, and it does help you.
It's
So
an
I
energy
don't,
leak. I call that an energy leak.
yeah.
Like
So,
energy's coming out your body somewhere.
but we got to find that out because that is because okay, so I do a lot of movement sometimes, and
So do
somebody
I.
said you can't do that.
I
You
know.
can't get up there and like fake move, and I'm like, why? Because it's a distraction. I,
Oh, you move that way? I would like dance.
oh no,
That's
I'm
a true
like,
story. Oh no. If there's music playing, you've seen the videos,
oh
like all
yeah,
of a
yeah,
sudden
yeah.
I'll choreograph something really fast, like, hey girls. Oh,
I
okay.
love
So
that.
you're psyching people out. I like it, Tammy Lee. Look
Yes.
at you.
Yeah.
Well,
Because then it
some
confuses them.
yeah. So you serve. If you serve, and the person you're serving to is back, and the person who is not receiving the serve is up on the line, the kitchen line, the
Yep.
no volley zone. Um, she can stand as close as she wants to the corner, like the corner, right? So she can stand really
Yep.
close, and if
Yep.
the serve hits her, it's a point for the serve person. So
Exactly.
it freaks people out though when
Yes.
someone stands so close. It's like people don't like it.
Yeah, you
People
better
don't
be
like
able
it.
to do a matrix if if you want
we
to
though
dodge
I will
that
say
ball.
we had so much fun with the hindrance because it's like we started calling hindrance on the leaves on the court on like because once we saw it we're like, oh, this is fun. Hindrance. Someone says
I
something,
love
a
it.
hindrance. So, but I need to find out if you can grunt because according to this one girl who called her out on it, she actually, I think she won the argument.
Mm.
Like I said, she can't do that, and the ref says you're right, she can't. So I think that's how it went down. So, but regardless, it's just fun to call a hindrance if you're not getting your way in pickleball. So that's what I recommend.
Okay. Sounds good to
Well,
me. We'll
thanks for
try it
joining
tonight.
us. Don't forget to go to our Instagram page and our YouTube page and watch the videos because they're going to be very helpful about strengthening your ankles. If you have strong and mobile ankles, you'll have stronger knees and hips. So we're going to keep working up the kinetic chain, kind of go back to certain things. And then we'll eventually get to fascia and to cars, which I want to talk about. Controlled articulation or controlled articulate
Articulate
rotations. Yeah,
rotation.
yeah.
Yeah.
How to move that joint through its full range of motion, which is it's a lot, but it's so important to what you're doing in pickleball. Is just be able to move the joint um, comfortably, safely, without straining
Yeah.
a muscle. So,
And some joints are like I have a plate and pins in my
mhm,
ankle, my left ankle. And I was working out at the gym the other day, and I went to go sit on, it's where you sit over and do your biceps curl,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Double bicep. And I went to flip over it, and the shoes that I had have these really grooves underneath it,
mhm.
and it got caught on the base,
Yeah, yeah.
and my ankle, the ankle that has all the tools in it, went and it hurt so bad so quickly. And my workout partner is like, are you okay? You okay? I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. And it just took a minute,
Yeah.
and then it was fine. But because I've already rolled it, it's got all these, tools in there.
Yeah.
But boy, did it remind me. to continue to do my mobility and my
Yeah.
strength on my ankles. So
And learning how well you can actually move inside of your own range of motion. Like
yeah,
where does it get hooked up? Where are you less mobile? Where, where when you rotate your shoulder back, where does it stop? Where does the articulation
yeah,
stop? So
yeah.
good stuff. We'll do that. So hey, follow us on Instagram. Leave us comments. Hey, if you can grunt or not in pickleball, let us know.
Yeah, we want to
Yeah.
know if you're a grunter or not.
I'm a dancer.
I like rhythm too.
Yeah. All right, look, guys, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
next week. Bye.
Bye.